like that.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 1062, during which we'll hear from a man who turned his love and knowledge of birds into a long-running newspaper column, and now a delightful book. We'll also have the delightful Mike O'Connor with the Let's Ask Mike live segment about putting copper discs in your bird bath to avoid or get rid of or eliminate algae. Is it a thing? We'll see if we can find out. Plus, we'll learn some things about a South Texas jay that's almost as big as an American crow. And then we'll have our mystery bird contest. Why don't we do a preview of it right here? That would be the sound of the bird and a whole bunch of them there as well. Our mystery bird is a medium-sized member of the gull family. This, by the way, is a preview of our mystery bird contest, which we'll do later in the show. It has a medium gray back, white head and underparts, a greenish-yellow bill, black wingtips, and black legs. Unlike its red-legged cousin, it's often seen from land off the east and west coasts of the U.S. in winter. Our bird feeds in flocks at the water's surface, sometimes making shallow dives for fish and invertebrates. It's a namesayer, with part of its common name based on the sound of its call. Preview there and clues of the mystery bird. Beautiful prizes include, perfect for fall and winter breeding season, the Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder. Yes, it is genuinely squirrel-proof. And chew-proof as well and easy to clean. It even has the vented seed tray to keep the feed or the seed fresh and dry. We have another great prize. It's a Birding by Ear course in the Larkwire app. Highly customizable and game-based with ID tips from some of the world's best birders. Now, these are courses that let you master bird sounds and have fun doing it. Prizes there in our Mystery Bird contest, coming a little bit later in the show. Well, we'd like to salute another Talkin' Birds listener who has answered our call to become a Talkin' Birds ambassador, helping us spread the good word about birds and conservation to friends and neighbors who are interested in birds and nature or might become interested. Last week, I mentioned that we're on an extra push to recruit more Talkin' Birds ambassadors, and happily, listeners have responded. In a moment, we'll have a special announcement about this. But first, a salute to a new ambassador. It's Bob Cambria from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much, Bob, for becoming a Talkin' Birds ambassador. And we certainly also, Bob, want to give you some sympathy about the Blue Jays and almost winning the World Series. And a lot of us were rooting for them, and next year, maybe. Well, now here's that special message. We're setting a goal of growing our ambassadors family to a very big milestone number by year's end. We aim to welcome our 1,000th member in the ambassadors family by the end of December. That's our goal. It won't be easy to reach our ambassadors family now at about 945 members. So we'll have to recruit 55 new ambassadors by December 31st to reach that goal. It's a lot, but we can do it if more Talkin' Birds listeners will step up and help make that goal a reality by joining our ambassadors family. To do it, just visit our talkinbirds.com website, no G in Talkin', and click on the Get Involved tab at the top of the homepage, and the rest is easy. And being an ambassador is easy as well. So, Talkin' Birds listeners, will you help us reach our goal of growing our ambassadors family to 1,000 members by year's end. We hope you will. To do it again, it's the Get Involved tab at talkingbirds.com. By the way, if you're already an ambassador, it would be pretty awesome if you would help us recruit some new fellow ambassadors. Still to come on today's show, author Jeff Reiter will tell us about his Best of Words for Birds book. And Mike O'Connor will explain about putting those copper discs in your bird bath. We'll find out what that's all about. A listener sent in a question about this for Mike. And up next, it's our featured feathered friend, presented by the Bigger and Better BWD magazine, with each large format issue packed with beautiful photographs, illustrations, and in-depth articles ranging from backyard birds to birding abroad. Experience birds up close with BWD at bwdmagazine.com. A couple of shows back, we talked about the unexpected discovery of a new hybrid bird species when a male blue jay apparently mated with a female green jay down around San Antonio, Texas, producing what folks called a grue jay. But there's a jay with a third plumage color down Texas way that doesn't seem to have gotten involved in any of this hybridizing business, maybe because it just hasn't ranged far enough north to get into the mix, barely making it into the U.S. along a short stretch of the Rio Grande just above the Mexican border. The bird is the brown jay. Brown jays are big, much bigger than our other jays, with a length of about 18 inches and a 26-inch wingspan, almost as big as an American crow. They're dark brown on the back and wings, with a pale to whitish belly. The head is an even darker brown, with no crest, and with a thick black bill. Brown jays are not picky eaters, foraging in flocks and feeding on insects, spiders, small lizards, rodents, eggs, and nestlings of smaller birds, as well as berries, fruits, seeds, and nectar. The brown jay typically lives for about 25 years, a pretty long span compared with other birds in the corvid family, which also includes crows, ravens, nutcrackers, jackdaws, and choughs. Our bird is known for its unique breeding system, in which several females may lay eggs in a single nest built by their entire group. The chicks are fed by all of the adults, ensuring a higher survival rate for the offspring. That may contribute to the bird's large and stable population and their listing as a species of least concern. Today's Talkin' Birds featured feathered friend, which despite its genus name is brown, not blue, Cyanocorax morio. It's the brown jay. Welcome again to our show, number 1062. Well, Jeff Reiter became a serious birder in 1994. The same day he encountered a striking little bird while on vacation in South Carolina. Within hours, he learned the name of the bird, the hooded warbler. Well, that experience rekindled a boyhood passion for birds and nature, and Jeff's been watching birds closely ever since. In 2004, he began writing Words on Birds, a newspaper column now in the Chicago area Daily Herald, devoted to birds, birding, and birders, and appealing to serious and casual birders alike. His last name, by the way, is spelled Reiter, so he's a writer in two respects. He has now written a book featuring the best of his 225 Words on Birds columns, and he joins us now to tell us about the book and the columns, and maybe his spark bird. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Ray. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Too bad we're not on TV. You've got a nice setup there. We can see your book on display and all that. We've got to work on that. Well, Jeff, we mentioned your spark bird and that rekindling of your boyhood passion for birds and nature. What was your reaction when you saw that spark bird? Was it just, oh, there's a nice bird, or was it more than that?
Yeah, it was more. I was kind of surprised because I had no idea what it was. And I think that may be how it starts for a lot of us when we get into birding. But I was just so determined to put a name on that bird. And luckily, the place we were staying in, this was in South Carolina, and the place we were staying in, a rental house, had a bird book. And it was pretty easy to leaf through that book and figure out that this was a hooded warbler and a bird I had never seen before. It was exciting.
Mm-hmm. Well, your column, Jeff, is good for non-Chicagoans with columns about birding in the many places you've visited in your search for birds, as your book subtitle says, Chicagoland and Beyond. And you've been to so many places seeing birds and talking about them in your book. And one of your columns is called Why Birding is Worth Our Time. And it seems to reflect what you've described as one of your main themes, which is that birding is highly personal and that there are many ways to do it. I wonder if you'd elaborate just a little bit on that theme.
Yeah, sure. I really think birding is the best hobby out there, the best possible hobby. Obviously, getting outside in nature is good for us. We know that. The science even says so. But it's a hobby you can enjoy anytime, anywhere, thanks to birds being so accessible. I mean, almost anywhere you go, you can see them or hear them. So you don't have to devote a lot of time to it. I like to say, I may not go on a bird walk that often, but I'm probably birding every day if it's just a few minutes looking out the window or walking down the block. I just love it for that reason. And it's personal because you can do it any way you want. That also makes it accessible. Mm-hmm. You can bird by yourself or with a group. You can bird seriously or casually. If your mobility is limited, you can still be a bird watcher. Just so many advantages. And again, just the best kind of activity I know.
So many birders, I think, are kind of picking up on that now. Do they, not necessarily making it a formal bird walk all the time, but just being aware of birds wherever you go and kind of whatever you're doing. Well, Jeff, you've been writing this column for, if I'm not mistaken, like 21 years, 225 columns. I have to ask, how writing your column has changed your birding life, if it has, or maybe your life in general.
It definitely has. It's a big part of my birding life. Frankly, it keeps me from birding a little bit because I spend so much time writing now that I miss a few bird walks here and there, but I still try to get out often. But it's a important part of the hobby for me, just like photography or perhaps sketching or painting is important to other birders. I just love doing it. It's I'm always looking for stories out there and thinking about what I'm going to write about next. And I'm glad I was able to put the book together because I realized a lot of people don't necessarily read the daily newspaper.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Even friends of mine weren't all that familiar with my column because they're not newspaper users. So to be able to have my best columns in one place and make those columns more accessible, I think has been a success so far.
Mm-hmm. And just picking up again about the idea of seeing birds everywhere, one of your columns is in the car, at the ballpark, always birding. So that kind of follows up on that. You have columns about 12 things every new birder should know, a couple of reasons or two more reasons why you're a birder, and then reflecting your parents' help kind of in your journey. And here's one with kind of a pun title, Owl of a Good Time, at the Sax-Zim Bog up in Minnesota. That was kind of a lesson in not giving up on a bird, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. As a lot of listeners know, Sax-Zim Bog is where you must go to see a great gray owl, among other places. But and you must go there in the winter when it's really, really cold. I went with 5 friends a few years back, and it was one of the greatest birding experiences of my life because of the way the way we searched for that owl and the way we ended up seeing it was just a great story. It was improbable. It was lucky, and truly unforgettable. All of those things, and yeah, we never gave up. And thankfully, we got our target bird, and it was spectacular.
And that is a spectacular bird, for sure. Well, here's a kind of more proof that you don't necessarily have to go any particular special place to see birds, like right in your backyard. You have a column called the Freaky Friday Fallout.
That was a fun day, and it never would have happened if not for the pandemic back in 2020. I was told to stay home and work from home, and that was a real blessing, particularly on that day, because there was a kind of a mini fallout in our neighborhood, and I forget the total. You probably have it there, but it was something like 48 species in my own backyard, including a worm-eating warbler, which to this day is absolutely my best yard bird.
And you have a column about that too. The wormy at Indiana Dunes there at the on the southern shore of Lake Michigan. And you mentioned in there too, Jeff, not only about the bird but the joys of birding festivals. They're wonderful things.
I highly recommend them. The Indiana Dunes Birding Festival for people in this region of the country is great. And there's so many. You meet great people. You go on wonderful bird walks and see new birds. If you're in the market for binoculars or a spotting scope, there's a whole marketplace of those. There's just so many things to do over 3 or 4 days. I highly recommend those festivals.
Indeed. Well, you kind of wrap up giving thanks for birds and birding, and you have more than 50 items there. And you just told me before the show that you're still adding the things you're thankful for. Those are definitely worth seeing. And by the way, a lot of sweet photos in the book. And among the thankful things there includes photos of several vanity license plates with bird names.
If you go to enough of those festivals we were just talking about, you'll see some very interesting license plates, and I try to always get pictures of them.
Cool idea. One more question, Jeff. In your bio in the book, you say that your backyard feeders are rarely empty. Can we assume that that's not because you don't have many birds showing up?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, but that would be kind of a feeder half empty way of looking at it. No, my feeders are usually pretty busy, but and I love yard birding. Just love seeing what I can. Well,
we're losing you there a little bit, but we're almost out of time anyway. So we'll wrap it up here. Jeff Reiter is the creator of the Daily Herald Words on Birds column, and the author of this delightful new book, The Best of Words on Birds, celebrating birds, birding, and birders in Chicagoland and beyond. And by the way, among those heartily endorsing Jeff's book is the great Ken Kaufman, who said this collection of his best work is a joy to read, and I recommend it highly. Nice endorsement there. By the way, Eckhart Press is where to find it, and it's hard to spell that we can spell it, but it's hard to pick it up on the air. We'll put something on our website and social media about this so you can find this wonderful book. It's Eckhart Press, E-C-K-H-A-R-T-Z, E-C-K-H-A-R-T-Z, Eckhart's Press. Jeff, thanks for those marvelous columns and for this terrific book.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Jeff Reiter here on Talking Birds, and up next, our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute.
The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com.
If you're new to our show, we want you to know we do a little mystery bird contest every week. Play the sound of a bird, giving some clues and offering some beautiful prizes, including today a broom squirrel solution 150 feeder, genuinely squirrel proof, and a Larkwire birding by ear course, letting you master bird sounds and have fun doing it. Our mystery bird is a medium-sized member of the gull family. It has a medium gray back, white head and underparts, a greenish-yellow bill, black wingtips, and black legs. Unlike its red-legged cousin, it's often seen from land off both the east and west coasts of the U.S. in winter. Our bird flocks at the water's surface, sometimes making shallow dives for fish and invertebrates. And it's one of those birds we call a namesayer, part of its common name based kind of on the sound of its call, if you use a little imagination at least. Clues and all the rest there on our mystery bird, and if you'd like to take a guess at it, we hope you will. Win those prizes. No correct answer means a drawing determines our winner anyhow. And here's the number, 781-837-4900. Once again, it's 781-837-4900. Please do call us as soon as you can, so we'll have time for the contest here. Meanwhile, Let's Ask Mike live in just 1 minute.
Hello, I'm Ed Begley Jr., and wherever you call home, the sounds of wildlife connect you with a greater family of life. That's why you shudder each time you see woods, marshes, meadows, or grasslands being destroyed. You know that countless birds and other wild animals are losing their homes, the greatest threat to their survival. Among the growing number of threats to wildlife, habitat loss is the most devastating. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust offers a humane solution, working with private landowners to protect habitat as permanent safe havens for wildlife. When you hear the familiar wild voices you love, remember, your voice is the one that can speak for wildlife and for the land they call home, ensuring that it stays forever wild. To learn more, to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, visit wildlifelandtrust.org.
Mike O'Connor is down there on sunny Cape Cod, home of the famous Bird Watchers General Store, and he's with us on the line as far as we know right now. Good morning, Mike.
Oh, good morning, Ray. Yeah, I'm here.
You're there. Just thanks for confirming that. So, Mike, we have a question here from Chris in Minnesota. She says, has Mike ever discussed the pros and cons of putting a copper disc in the bird bath? The internet is full of contradictions, and I'm wondering if I should try it or not. Question for Chris. So this is about controlling algae, right, in the bird feeder? And what's the story?
In the bird bath, Ray.
Bird bath, sorry. I get those mixed up. One was the water, one has the seed. All right, got it.
All right. This is a technical thing. You're not expected to know.
Yes, I'm not used to that language. Technical language, yeah.
I've been hearing this for decades, for years and years and years. These old-timey customers would tell me that I would have to put pennies in my bird bath, but I would have to go out and somehow find old pennies from the olden days that were mostly copper and put those in the bird bath, and that would keep the algae from forming. And, and I just, to me, that was like a wives' tale. I'm just, okay. And, it's like like a rabbit's foot, which brings everybody good luck except the rabbit. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, exactly. That I never even bothered it for a second. And now the companies, this has gotten more traction, and now people are saying, you know what, maybe there's a thing to it. So companies are cracking out these 4-inch round copper discs to take the place of pennies, because nobody wants to deal with pennies apparently. And to put those in. So what used to cost pennies now costs $8 to $10, and you put these in the bird bath. And the copper we're supposed to keep the algae from forming. Now, the question is, does copper inhibit algae? Yes, it does. They make a product that they put in swimming pools or other places when they get rid of algae. It's copper sulfate, which is a combination of copper and sulfur, and that seems to work with those situations. But does the copper disc work in a bird bath? In theory, maybe. I don't know. Here's the thing. I've never tried it. So, Chris, I have no information for you for that. But I do know that bird baths need to be changed regularly. Algae is bad, but so isn't all the droppings and the bacteria the birds contribute when they get in a bird bath, and they need to be changed. I change my bird bath every day. I don't see any algae. I brush it out. So that's my solution. But because this is getting such a buzz lately, I've decided I'm going to get some of these copper bird baths and run a series of my own tests. I look online, just like I said, Chris. Everybody's got a different opinion. I know Ken Kaufman wasn't necessarily a big fan of it. I read all the pros and cons. So I'm going to run a series of my own tests. That's the good news. The bad news is I'm not going to do it till next summer when algae is more of an issue than it is in the wintertime. So you're going to have to sit tight, Ray.
We'll wait until we'll anticipate that. And I have to pick up on the fact that you said copper bird baths, since you picked me up on the thing about the bird baths and bird feeder.
What did I say? What did I say,
said,
Ron?
Yeah, we'll get the tape. But anyway.
Well, they do have copper bird baths.
Oh, they do?
But they still, I don't know. Really, the thing is you got to brush them out and clean fresh water.
Brush them out, keep them clean is the main thing.
Keep them clean, but we're gonna get to the bottom of this, like sometime next summer.
And I know you want to
give the full result. Yeah, so Sam, I'll get the lab code and the clipboard, and I'll run tests, and we'll have it.
Right. You want to hang on to your pennies as much as you can as well. I know. Thank you, Mike. Talk to you next week. We're back to the Mystery Bird Contest. We'll hear this bird just briefly once again here on the contest here. Where the number is 781-837-4900. Just really quickly again, our mystery bird is a medium-sized member of the gull family. It has a medium gray back, white head and underparts, a greenish-yellow bill, black wingtips, and black legs. What would that mystery bird be here on the old mystery bird contest? Debbie in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts, is on the line there, and perhaps a correct answer. We'll see. Hello, Debbie.
Hi there.
Hi.
I believe it's a black-legged kittiwake.
Black-legged kitty. You say that with a certain amount of confidence, it sounds like, Debbie, which is, hold on, that was the wrong button. Please forgive me. Forgive me for that. That's the one we want right there. I hope you're okay, Debbie, after us pushing the wrong button
Yep,
there.
I'm fine.
Okay, well, good. So you have the correct answer there. The black-legged kittiwake is the bird. So you're on the East Coast. Have you ever seen one out there, Debbie?
Not that I know of, but when we've been traveling out the other coast, I think we have.
All right, out to the West Coast where they also hang out in the wintertime. Well, Debbie, thank you so much. You are absolutely right with that. And if you will stay on the line, we will make arrangements to send those prizes to you. The Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder and the Larkwire Birding by Ear course.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You too, Debbie, with the correct answer, the black-legged kittiwake. And with that, we are out of time for our show today. We'll get to work on the next one. We have an exciting guest. I'm not saying who it is because we're not sure if it's going to be next week for sure. But tune in to find out. And thanks to our amazing Talking Birds team, Debbie Bleacher, Freya McGregor, and our producing engineer, Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown, reminding you that you can enter next week's Mystery Bird Contest no matter where you are if you listen live. Easy to do via the Listen tab at talkingbirds.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
The bird show. I like that.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.